Alrighty, everybody. What's going on? It's your boy, Thomas,
And Marie. I'm not a
Marine.
boy though.
Very true. It's the Marine Thomas Travel Channel. Welcome to our first episode. We've been to a lot of different states together. Uh, we've actually been to a couple countries now together. But today we're here to talk about cruising.
Our first cruise.
Our first cruise.
Yay.
Alrighty. So, first of all, just tell them how we came to the idea of cruising. Let's talk about that.
Well, I think you brought it up first. You just said one day you were like, "Hey, you want to go on a cruise?" And I was like, "Sure."
Yeah, it was for. Oh, jeez. Okay. Sorry, y'all. We have a dog.
Zeus.
Yeah, we have a dog. He's just like really adamant about this knocking this camera around. So sorry about the shot. Hey, buddy, move. Okay. Okay. He's just really adamant about messing up this camera. Yeah, we love you too. No, I think what happened was I was trying to figure out something for our anniversary. Uh, Fellas, you need to plan an anniversary. I'm terrible at planning though. I'll admit that. I'm terrible at planning. So
You've never had a bad date idea.
yeah, but yeah, I feel like a lot of them are on the fly and I get real lucky. That's why I just get like that's how I know God wants this relationship to work, because he is like, bruh, like you ain't do nothing for this. Like you you stressing me out. You stressing me out. Okay. Like one time I tried to take her to a spot where we went to on the day that we said we love each other, the po' boy spot. I remember that spot was closed.
Permanently.
Permanently closed.
Permanently closed.
But then I took her to what we call carryouts in DC. And a carryout is like a fusion of an American and a Chinese spot. It's amazing for y'all who come to come to the DMV, especially in DC. They're just bomb. And I swear to y'all, there's no earthquake here. It's just we got a dog. But yeah, so like I said, I was trying to plan our anniversary. I knew I wanted to do something big for this year. It's going on 2 years, and I was like, yo, I gotta figure out something. So I'm like, I've been stressing about this since like January, basically. Our anniversary is May 3rd, and I'm like, all right, what can I do? And this is coming up around March, April, if you like, mid March. I want to say mid March to late March. And I've been watching these YouTube clips. Shouts out to the Ship Life. We watch him now, but I've been watching him for a couple of years now. I've always wanted to go on a cruise. Truthfully enough, I've just been too lonely to go on a cruise. Never had a significant other to go on a cruise with. Didn't want my first cruise to be solo, and like my friend circle never was that friend circle to be like, let's go on trips together. It's like, bro, we can barely get to the bar together, let alone go on a trip together. So, never had opportunity, but I was thinking for this year we should go all out, and it's like, yo, you want to go on a cruise? And what did you say?
I said, "Yeah, why not? Let's go.
Yeah,
We can. We should."
Yeah, exactly. And I'm gonna let y'all know, and we're gonna have another video on this. I didn't have my passport. I do nothing about a cruise. My parents went on one like 10 years ago. They went on the Oasis of the Seas, which was at the time the biggest cruise ship in the world. In its early stages. When that came out, they enjoyed it. My dad said he loved it. Always told me how to go on one. I never had the money to go on one. I just recently got into a stable financial situation, if I'm be honest. And I was like, yo, like, we can do this? Like, I was like, I brought up the idea. It's like, yo, we should go on a cruise. You know, like, yo, we should lose weight. We should tackle the world. You know, like all things that we definitely want to do, but it's just so much easier said than done. We like, yo, man, like we should really find a cure for cancer. Like, yeah, like no one's gonna deny you on that. You know what I mean? Like no one's come to you be like, yeah, like be like, nah, bro, nah.
Too much work.
Yeah, exactly. Like anybody will hit you with that. So I was like, yo, like, yeah, we should go on a cruise. And she said, yeah, and then I'm like, cool. So how do we do it? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had been on a cruise before. I was 14. I was with my family. We went to Alaska. It was beautiful. It was great. But I've never been on a cruise as an adult. I've never planned a cruise, let alone very many vacations. Um, so this was seemed like a brand new experience for me. And after going on the cruise, it's hard to even compare the two cruises that I've been on.
Yeah. So, just a heads up, we went on a Royal Caribbean cruise on the Harmony of the Seas. It was phenomenal. So, in this first video, we're going to tell you exactly how to actually book the cruise. I feel like a lot of people tell you, "Oh, here's what you do on the cruise. Did you after the planning and all this?" But like, we're actually going to tell you just how we even got to the idea and how we booked it. So, I knew through my job that we had a travel perks reward type thing. Wasn't too sure how to look more into it. Also knew about just booking directly and using a travel agent as well. I heard about that, but we have a couple pros and cons of each one. So, excuse me, y'all. What was the first thing we had for the for booking through actually with a cruise?
Well, we have Booking Direct, which is booking yourself using a website, or you can use an agent.
Okay. So with the booking direct, you can go on to the RoyalCaribbean.com right now and you can book a cruise. Straight up.
Yeah, you do it yourself. You don't have to go through anybody. Book it like a flight. Like you can book it yourself.
Yeah, like you could just like they have the dates and everything on there. Again, it is like, yo, you want to do this, you want to do that, and
It
it's
would
just
take 5 minutes
yeah,
tops.
at the same time. Like they'll take your money mad quick. Like don't like don't get it confused. Like there's no gatekeeper. Like whoa, what you doing there? Like no, there's no gatekeeping there. It's like yo,
But the problem if you do it yourself, you don't really get guidance. And us being first time cruisers, really, we felt like we needed some guidance. We watched tons of YouTube, did a lot of internet research, but we felt like we needed some guidance. And also, there's not very many deals online. And you go on these websites and it looks good. Like the prices look good, but then you get into it. And then after, you're like, is there any kind of discount? Like, you won't really find discounts for cruises on the cruise websites when you book them yourself.
that's like so true because like when you get on there, they give you like a deal, like it's $550 off per person plus like 30% off as well and all that. I'm gonna let y'all know something. That deal has been there every single day I've been on Royal Caribbean's website. It's not a deal. That's just the price you're paying. So like,
It says it's a deal.
yeah, but like whenever you look at that, that is the price of what you're going to pay. Everybody and their mama has the same deal. And you know what they say? When everyone's special, no one is. so, so like that part, I'm gonna tell you is like, don't feel the pressure to just, oh man, they got this deal. We gotta hurry up and do it now. Like that deal will be there. Don't worry. The price of the cruise, it it does fluctuate. I'm not gonna lie about that because I think we ended up actually from procrastination, we actually ended up spending like probably an additional $250 total just in the time span. So the closer it gets to the cruise, they can change that price. As well as if they see more people are purchasing, they can change that price. If they see less people are purchasing, they can change the price as well. I've seen that where like it'll be like a day of cruise that was $1,100. Now it's like the night before it's like 8, 9. And again, I want to bank on that. That's a horrible thing to do because you're gonna be mad if it doesn't happen. Do not do that as a safe practice. I'm just saying that I've seen that. So the price is dynamic.
Right. And we didn't give ourselves a whole lot of time before the cruise when we booked it. That most people will plan like maybe a year out, at least a few months out. We say, let's go in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We booked like the same month. We were like, you know what? Let's go. We got this.
Like I think we booked April 1st and our flight was booked for April 30th.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, we had literally one solid month to get everything in accordance. And that's crazy.
That's minimum time you should give yourself.
Yeah. So then,
unless you're a very experienced cruiser and you do it all the time. First time cruisers, month minimum. But in that time, you were able to get your passport and all that taken care of.
Yeah, and again, we're gonna make a video for that because that's like a whole situation what I had to do to get that passport. But yeah, I was able to get it then, and I said we were able to book without it. Um, but let me tell you more about that booking. So we talked about booking direct. There are travel agents out there, and travel agents actually have a purpose when it does come to cruising, especially. I know a lot of other places. I'm not gonna say that they don't have a purpose because travel agents, if you get a good one, they're knowledgeable about what they do. So you can pick their brain a little bit more instead of you having to search for what you don't know. And the lovely Boondocks TV show that I love, there's a character on there played by the amazing Samuel Jackson. Talk about their their known unknowns and unknown unknowns. Like there's stuff that you know that you don't know that this is stuff that you don't know that you don't know. And also using a travel agent definitely helps you with that unknown unknowns, like stuff that you would never think about. Stuff that like you're like, oh, like how do I book an excursion? What's a safe excursion to go on? What are the reviews of this place? And not the travel advisory reviews. What are the real reviews from the customers that you've had that gone there? How do you know these people? Some of these travel agents actually know the people to the place you're going. Like in Foulmouth, they might actually know some of the people in Dolphin Cove that you want to go to. But yeah, I've been there myself. Talk to Ernest when you get there. Great guy. Tell him Stephanie sent you. You get there, he'll be like, yo, Stephanie. He'll show you a picture. Like, yo, love her, sweet person. You're like, oh man, bet. And then you create that relationship from there. So it could definitely help you with that and just easing your mind about how you're spending your money. Because again, you're doing all this hopefully before you get there. And you're spending a lot of money up front and you're hoping things work out right. So again, you could do it your own and just try to book everything through Royal Caribbean, which is okay. Again, you don't have to talk to anybody. You can do it on your own. It's just that. But you're paying retail. You're paying retail for that, man.
I mean, the agents even know down like details. Like they know the ships, they know what deck you should be on. They can tell you the pros and cons of
Exactly.
like what section of the ship you should be on for what kind of experience you want. They really have wealth of knowledge. You should definitely take advantage, in my opinion.
Absolutely. So then, last but not least, is we have the one that we went through. Is if you work virtually any decent sized corporation, and I'm not saying you have to work a 9 to 5, it's just 9 to 5. Just if you work there, I mean, if you work at, if you work at McDonald's, if you work at Microsoft, if you work for the government, if you work any major corporation, like a hospital system, anywhere, like anything, check to see what your employee benefits are. And I do not mean just your health benefits. Of course, we all want to know what those are, and those are very important. So we're not discounting health benefits. But check to see what your full employee benefit package is. Because mine does include a website called Travel Perks, which I know my company is not the only company that has Travel Perks. There's multiple companies that have it. Check with your company to see if they offer Travel Perks. If they don't, have your company sign up for it. It's very inexpensive. I believe it might even be free for the company to sign up for it because they're going to be sending them customers essentially. And what we got was a dedicated, would you say?
She's a travel agent.
Yeah. You get a dedicated travel agent, but it's different for them because they work for a major company and
it's like a contracted travel agent.
Yeah, it's like a contracted travel agent, meaning that they're going to be there for you. When you call back, even if it's a year later, you still get the same person. And when doing so, of course, they probably make commission off you, but it's not like a mom and pop shop where when you have a mom and pop shop, you do feel sensitive to those people's time because then this is truly how they make their money. This is how they feed their family. Their family is driving off of this business that they have created. And it feels different. You know, it's kind of like when you go to a mom and pop restaurant. First, you go to a chain restaurant. You know, you get a different feeling. You don't. I don't want to say like waste the food, but you know, like are you treated different? You're like, hey, look, I know this is your baby here and everything. I want to make sure. You almost try to make sure that like you provide a service for them products. With that. But with the travel agent you get from Travel Perks at that point, it's very warming yet transactional, and I love the combination of the two. Meaning you can just email them, hey, I'm looking for this, this, and this. You like the cruise is great. Could we figure that out? And our lovely travel agent over at Travel Perks, name is Montika. She was lovely. She just sent it over. It's like, hey, here's what I found for you guys. Let me know what y'all want to do. All good. Boom. Doesn't chase you down. Won't rattle your phone or nothing. Just gives you information as you want it. Now, that was through email. She does have a phone number, which we have called. That's actually how we booked the cruise. Because people going back and forth about what we wanted and everything. We saw 3 days, we saw 4 day, we saw 5 day trips as well. But we actually ended up doing a seven night, excuse me. So we saw 3 night, 4 night, 5 night, and we saw 7 night. We actually ended up doing a 7 nighter on Harmony of the Seas. Montika gave us a great spot for what we were looking for. Within our budget and everything, we had a ocean view, which is beautiful. You still get to see the water, just don't have a balcony. But a beautiful view. Room was great. It was right by the main dining. It was just amazing. And we got to pick our room for around a 15% discount for what's on the website. On top of that, we got the pick. So when you go and you book directly through the website, you'll see that if they pick for you, which when they pick, they're not necessarily going to give you the nicest room. They're not going to give you like a bad room, but they're going to give you, when they pick for you, they're going to try to fill up all their rooms. Meaning, they're going to try to fill up every last room, like that middle room or that middle seat, if you will, if you want to think about it like in a bus or whatever. They're going to try to fill it up, no matter how they have to. Meaning, they'll fill the middle seat, side seat, whatever. They just want as much capacity as possible, the highest capacity as possible. Excuse me. When you book with your travel agent, they'll try to figure out what do you want, and I'll get that for you. So it's much more customizable. Again, it's a little bit of a back and forth with conversation and everything, but in my opinion, it's worth it. What do you think?
Yeah, I love the way we booked the cruise. I think we should definitely go through Montika again,
Okay.
or
Yeah.
at least go through a travel agent.
I'll go through Montika again. She amazing. Shouts out too. I gotta ask to comment in the video. Probably gonna be a no, but I gotta try. Yeah, but I booked it through her, and when we decided on the cruise, she said, "Great, how do you want to pay?" And put the card over, and that was that. Like it was that easy. like it was that easy. And once we got our cruise, that's when stuff started opening up. So you can't see everything until you book the cruise. What does that mean? So you can't see certain excursion prices. What else?
Drink package prices,
Drink package prices. That's a crucial one. You can't see
which
that until you book the cruise.
also fluctuate.
Correct. Those will fluctuate, and those will get more expensive as time goes on. Those do not go down usually; they get more expensive as time goes on. Internet packages as well. You get to see the internet package for your ship, because what Royal Caribbean does is that the pricing for their ships is dedicated to that ship on that sail time. So meaning that drink package for somebody else at the same time on another ship could be different. The internet package for somebody else on that same ship a week later could be different. They use that type of pricing. So it kind of, it's not bad. It's a business. Don't forget that. I know we're enjoying ourselves on here, but it's still a business. They gotta make money. I get that. So like I'm not mad at how they do it. Just a heads up with that. But you can't see any of those prices until you book your cruise, and even then it takes like 2, maybe 4 hours. I think it took us like 2 hours to get into it. And once we got into there, is where you can start planning more of your stuff. So you have to book the cruise first. So we got that out the way, right? We figured out what cruise we want to get on. Next, we got to figure out, all right, when do we want to get on this cruise? Because I think the when and what cruise are definitely important. Not every cruise is the same.
And where you're leaving from,
exactly,
where you're going, what port to call you're going to.
And that's what I put under the what. It's like what is the cruise you're doing? Are you doing a Caribbean cruise on a big boat? Are you doing a Mexican cruise on a smaller boat? Are you doing a smaller boat to the Eastern Caribbean, the West Caribbean? Like, got to figure out what size the boat is that you want to be on and where is it going. Once you figure out those two, then you can book. All right, like those are very important because you can be on what's that new ship they got? Wonder of the Seas,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going on a 3-day excursion. Eh, those are good. We're going on one in August. We're actually about to book right after we finish this. But I have 8 days to burn, so
Mm-hmm.
would that really make sense for me to go on a 3-day ship and then just be in Orlando the rest of the time? Again, if you want to go Disney stuff like that, you can do that. But again, so you really got to figure out what the ship is to have the amenities you want. Is it going to places you want? And then once we figure all that out, we have to figure out the time we want to go, and then you book that ship. So that's like everything has to go into booking just the ship alone. Bang. So we book our trip. Now we're looking at drink prices. Whew. Tell them about the drink prices. I don't even want to.
So it's priced per day. And if you are in the same cabin as someone who has the drink package, it doesn't matter if it's just the soda package or if it's the full deluxe alcohol package, everyone in the stateroom has to have the package.
Ooh-wee. Yeah, everybody who is of drinking age needs to have the package. Now, there are ways around that, I will say. They would tell you have to do that. It's partially correct. Meaning, did I say partially? Like the
Ew.
Ew, yeah, why did I say partially? It's partially correct. Okay. All right. Let's say there's somebody who doesn't drink, right? For instance, my father doesn't drink. He's not a drinker. My mom, she does drink. She drinks wine, spirits every now and then, type stuff. All good. What you have to do is you actually have to call Royal Caribbean directly, explain the situation. Hey, I don't drink. Could be any one of the reasons. They're not going to dig too far in there. No one's asking for your AA membership or anything. By the way, an AA membership, that's an oxymoron, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. yeah. AA membership is an oxymoron. But yeah, like no one's gonna ask you like, oh, did you seek a psychiatrist or therapist before you did? No, like it's great. Like, hey, I don't drink. It's all good. To say, hey, cool, no problem. You need to purchase the beverage package, which is not the deluxe package. The beverage package will get you to sodas, juices, and coffees. So basically everything but the liquor. That right there is substantially less than what the drink package will be. Now again, we want to give y'all the inside scoop on the stuff, so we're going to tell you what we paid for our drink package. So for our drink package, it was $67.99 a day per person, plus an 18% gratuity for the 7 nights.
Yeah, they add on the gratuity for you.
Correct. Total, our cruise for those 7 nights, the total for the cruise itself, meaning just the cruise without the drink package, was $1,860, $1,860 for those 7 nights going on the Western Caribbean on Harmony of the Seas, May 2022. The drink package was $1,100.97 for those 7 nights. Okay, with everything included. When I told you it was expensive, it was expensive. All right, but
I thought it was definitely worth it. We can get
Absolutely.
into that later, but
We
I
will.
definitely thought that it was worth it
we will
to pay up front for the drinks.
Absolutely, absolutely. It definitely was. Like I said, we're gonna get into that in a later video. We're gonna tell you everything about purchasing that right now. I thought it was expensive, but even at the time, I said, you know what? I just don't want to worry about a single thing when I get on that boat.
I want to prepay everything.
Everything I can, I want to prepay.
No bill afterwards, no
Exactly.
bill during. We prepay up front and we got a week of fun.
Exactly, because on embarkation, everybody all happy, rah-rah and everything, right? But on disembarkation, are they gonna send you that envelope?
Yeah, night before they're like, yeah, take a look out on your outside your door because you'll get your bill. Don't worry about it.
Absolutely. And if you think you're gonna slide out on that bill, let me tell you something. Them people let them other people know. And they ain't gonna let some other people know. And you're gonna get that collection notice on your credit report. And nobody want that. You get a more stress and a lower credit score off of a vacation? How does that sound? Come on. So He's like, yo, I don't want to think of a thing. Let's just go. Let's just go. So we get it going. That's cool. Pay for the drink package. Great. So now we got the cruise out the way. We got the drink package out the way. We looked at a couple of excursions. Tell me more about what you thought about the excursions, because I have something I think about these.
It depends on what you want to do. It depends on what kind of vacation you want to have. In general, the excursions were, I thought, very pricey for what you get on the excursion.
Yeah, yeah.
In general,
I-
everything was expensive, especially if you're booking through Royal Caribbean. You can definitely book excursions through smaller companies, local companies, but you got to be careful with that. You got to look at TripAdvisor, do your research and due
Mhm.
diligence. Make sure you're getting yourself into a safe situation that's going to be enjoyable, and you're going to still have a good vacation. It's the safest bet is to always book through Royal Caribbean or whatever cruise line you're going to go on for the excursions. But it will be pricier.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. The only thing I give Royal Caribbean, and one thing that is a major thing, it might be the sole thing that you want to book through Royal Caribbean for, is that if you book an excursion through Royal Caribbean, they guarantee that they get you back to the boat on time. Meaning that even if that runs late, let's say, because I saw this a couple times where they said, hey, you got to be back at 4:30. There were excursions coming back at 4:35. And it was no pressure. It was like, hey, look, we did that. We will get you back there. You will not miss the.
Yeah, they held the boat.
Like, yeah, they're like, hey, we will get that to you. Don't worry. Also, when you're on your cruise, it's a little tidbit. When they tell you to come back at 4:30, you might, but the boat ain't leave till 5. Let me tell you what they're doing in them 30 minutes to an hour. They are packing everything up. Meaning that little gateway that you walked on to get there, they are pulling that back. And then they getting the ropes off. And they getting everything to leave. So it's like, don't bank on that little hour window they have. It's not a window. They're just packing up. If you happen to get on the boat, that's cool, but they weren't waiting for you. Just to be clear. Just to be clear, they weren't waiting for you. They was packing up. But yeah, that's the only thing I'll say about the benefit of booking them through their excursions. I mean, are you supporting local business?
It depends on what the excursion is.
Yeah, it's like, it depends on what it is. Some of them are. Some of them is like, I mean, you can kind of see it. You know, you're putting the money back in the royal's pocket, if you will. Like, this is a royal brand thing. Like, especially like on like Coco Cay, right? When you're on Coco Cay, all the excursions are by Royal Caribbean, so
It's their private island.
it's their private island. So like, are you really supporting local business? No, you just supporting some workers. Don't get me wrong. But the people was getting money regardless. Like, they're not working on commission. They was getting money regardless. So yeah.
One other thing about the excursions, though, is I did notice there's more variety if you book outside of Royal Caribbean.
Absolutely.
There's a lot more options if you book outside of your cruise line.
Absolutely. You're definitely not wrong about that. But like I said, when you book outside of it, you can go on food tours.
There's different walking tours that aren't
Yeah.
offered.
Like Foulmouth has some walking tours as well. You just had to tip the guy. Myself, I don't really like to operate on a tipping scale. I like to have a set price. Boom, we agree on that price. We agree on the price. We keep it moving. Tipping to me, especially when you're in some place you're not familiar with, it can lead to unachievable expectations, and then we gotta go into that back and forth. And I'm like, man, I don't want to do that to you. So I'm like, hey man, just let me know how much it is. We'll do it like that. And again, that's the benefit of booking through Royal, as well. All their services are no pressure tipping, which is really cool. Even when being in there, no pressure tipping. So that'll be my one tip to y'all if y'all want to book through Royal for your excursions. Like I said, I don't know. Choice is yours. But do you have anything else before we go? Think that wraps up how to book a trip.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
We're gonna make a whole series on our cruise experience and more of a series on our travels.
Yeah, no, you good. But yeah, this like what is we talking about? More about traveling, more about cruising. This would be a cruise centered show for you guys. We definitely talk about other travels as well, but this would be more cruise focused. And y'all, just thank y'all so much for tuning in. Again, it's the first video. Many more on the way. This is Marie. I'm Thomas. This is Traveling with Marie and Thomas. Gonna talk to y'all later. I like that.